Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the ultimate guide for Arc Raiders in 2025. It's the 14th of December, and within 2 days, we're going to get the new Cold Snap update, which I'm very excited for. And on the 22nd of December, a lot of players are going to be wiping their characters with the expedition, which I am ready for. So as you can see, I'm level 75. I've gained almost 12 million experience points. I have done a lot of the trials. Okay, I got the wild card status. I basically just do the trials for the items that you get. I don't really worry about the leaderboard. And I like the wild card rank because you get the mastery medal. And everything after this, I'm not really interested in. Like, you only get like the bone arrow emote, and then you get this weird headgear patrol variant. I'm not interested in the gear because I bought the ultimate edition, which gives me this fancy character that I've got over here. So if I go into my codex, you can see I've got one of the coolest like skins in the game with the coolest backpack. And here are my stats. I've got 328 hours spent in topside. And because I'm recording my screen, I can literally show you how much time I've got in Arc Raiders. 493 hours, okay? Close to 500 hours. Now, the reason that I can help you in Arc Raiders is if you look at my round history and you go straight to the bottom, you will see there's a lot of fails. You know, knocked out, returned safely, knocked out, knocked out, knocked out, knocked out, knocked out, knocked out. There's not a lot of green there. Okay, guys, you can see a lot of red. And that's when I was learning. But as we go, you will see that I improved. So if we go to the top, you will see that the green is way more than the red. And then I've literally got runs, which I can show you. And going to look for it quickly over here. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 times that I've extracted safely. Okay, so I have improved. I have done a lot in the game. You know, damage to Arc Surveyors, damage to the Bastion, damage to a Bombardier, damage to a Leaper, damage to the Matriarch, damage to the Queen, you know, damage to Raiders, damage to Rocketeers. I've done everything in the game. Like, you guys will see, I've got stats for everything. Okay, I've done everything in the game. And I'm going to give you a bunch of tips which will help you improve your gameplay. Now, the first tip I want to start you with, if you're doing the expedition, which I hope you are doing, unless you don't have enough time to play, then of course you're not going to do the expedition. But if you are doing the expedition, I'm going to give you an easy way to understand how much your inventory is worth. Okay, so this is my inventory at the moment. And instead of me clicking on everything, I can just do this. So what I do is I press Control Escape. Then I go to my date. I click on Adjust Date and Time. I put the set time automatically off, and then I change the date over here to the 19th while I'm in game. And then I close it. So what that does is it changes the date in the game to the 19th just before the expedition happens. And then when you go to projects, you go to Go Project, it tells you how much your inventory value is worth and how much your Raider, like you can see your Raider coins. But at least it tells you how much your inventory is worth so that you don't have to go click on everything and then right click and see how much it's worth. Okay. Now, you don't want to stay on the 19th because although you can see your inventory value, when you want to play the game, then you can see there's like no events happening. Okay. And if you keep it on the 19th, you can't even enter the game. The game will tell you that, you know, online services aren't available. So while you're in the game, you want to go back here and then adjust the time and just put that on. Okay, just put the set time automatically on, and now you can see the events are back on and everything is normal. So that's the first tip I want to give you if you want to figure out your complete value for your inventory and your cash without literally coming here and clicking on everything like this. And then tip number one is as soon as you start after the wipe or whenever you start playing the game, the most important thing I want you to focus on is Celeste.
Need something?
And Celeste can give you very, very important items. Now, a lot of people like using free kits, especially rats, but I don't. The only time that I want you to use a free kit is when you're not looting anything important. The reason I don't want you to ever go in with a free kit is you've only got a 1.5% chance to find a blueprint. So basically, every 75 containers you search, you'll have a chance to find a blueprint. And the last thing you want is to find the one blueprint that you've always wanted, but you don't have a safe pocket. So you find the blueprint, you pick it up, you die, you lose the blueprint. So the only time that I use a free loadout is to collect seeds to buy everything that I need from Celeste. And I've made you guys a list. Like, you can buy whatever you want, but I basically just focused on the most important items that really helps you a lot in your journey, which is basically the complex gun parts, the Exodus modules, the heavy gun parts, light gun parts, medium gun parts. The processors are important. The sensors are important. The batteries are important. The duct tape, the magnets, the oil, the simple gun parts, the steel springs, and the wires. Now, to collect all of that from Celeste every day is going to cost you 715 seeds. Now, the good thing is every time you go on a free raid, you do get seeds from the chicken. Okay, so the chicken is going to give you some seeds over there. But you are basically, because your target is 715 seeds, you want to collect a minimum of like 60 seeds per run, which is a full stack of Great Mulane or a full stack of lemons or a full stack of apricots. And the way I do that is going to Spaceport. So if you inspect Spaceport, right here in front of the car park, you get lemons and apricots. Then if you go to the staff parking, right here in front of the staff parking, you get apricots and lemons. And then the gold rush over here is the best place to get Great Mulane. Right through this tunnel over here, you're going to get a lot of Great Mulane, some melons, some apricots, and then here at the end is the famous dead tree that gives you mushrooms. Okay, but we only need mushrooms for leveling up our chicken. But that's what I'm going to be doing. And at the moment, I have got two seeds. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto Spaceport and just quickly show you the route that I take, okay, with the free loadout. And as soon as I'm successful with the free loadout, I turn in my free kit augment for a looting MK1. So we're just going to go with the free loadout, and I'm going to show you. Okay, my inventory is full. So what they're saying is they can't transfer everything over. So I'm just going to... No, I'm just going to sell that. I'm going to sell that. And then hopefully I can go in with a free kit now. Okay. So I'm literally just going to show you guys the basic route that I take. Doesn't matter where I spawn. And I don't care if I die. Okay? Like, when I see someone, I'm going to tell them I've got a free loadout and I've only got like apricots on me. If they kill me, so what? You know, didn't risk anything, didn't lose anything. But every time I extract, I change to the looting MK1 so that I can safeguard at least 30 seeds, 1 stack of apricots, lemons, or Great Mulane. And then you can buy, even if you don't have the blueprint, you can buy a looting MK2
Right place.
at least once a day. So whenever you feel like you're coming, like you're not dying a lot and you want to secure at least 60 seeds in your safe pocket, then do it. Because even if we die with the looting MK2, we are guaranteed 60 seeds. Unless somebody kills us before we fill our 2 safe pockets. But it's going to be you're very unlucky to die before you fill your 2 safe pockets. So I'm just going to show you the first run quickly. Okay. I spawned over here. So there's a lot of things I can show you about this, but I'm literally just running for the staff parking. So here I'm at the staff parking. You guys can see I'm at the staff parking. Okay, and here are the trees. So right there, right in the middle, staff parking, right in the middle. Here's the tree in front of me. So just above the staff parking name. Okay, so pick up an apricot, kick the tree, pick up another apricot, look around the tree, go to the next tree. Here's a lemon, pick up the lemon, walk around the tree because I want to kick it. Get 2 lemons, there's 2 lemons. Sometimes there's lemons lying on the floor over here. Walk to this tree over here. There's a lemon. There's a lemon. There's a lemon. And I can kick the tree. And there's 2 lemons over there. Kick this tree. There's 1 apricot. And then I go to this tree, kick this tree. And there we go. So that is 30 seeds, because every lemon gives you 3 seeds. So every apricot and every lemon gives you 3 seeds. So 14 times 3 is 42. We've already collected 42 seeds. Okay. Now I'm going to run. Okay, that's very, very far away, but still. Okay, I'm going to run to the car park. And to do it safely, I'm going to run on the outside edge. Okay, so let's go. Okay. Here we are at the car park, and I'm going to show you exactly where the trees begin. I just have to be careful. Somebody shot to my right. So, right here. Okay, so here's the car park at the corner of this wall over here. This is where you start. Walk around the tree. You get an interact button. There's 1 apricot. Come to this tree. Get the interact button. There's another apricot. Walk around the tree. There's no apricots. Go to the 3rd tree. Okay, we can't interact with that one. And then go to the 4th tree. There's a lemon. We can interact with it. Pick up 2 more lemons. And then we go to the 5th tree, which is the last tree over here. And yeah, at least these are a little bit more. Okay, so there's lemons. There's 2 more lemons. And there's another lemon. Okay, so ignore the loot at the bottom. We just, we're almost at 3 full stacks now, which is almost 90 seeds. I'm just showing you all the places. Now I'm going to run over there and run down here. And then when I get to the end, I'll show you guys how much Great Mulane I've gotten. Okay? Okay, here we get to the start of the tunnel. So it's just right next to the wall in this gap. Okay, you can see I'm looking down the hill now. So it's literally like this, like a starting line. Now I can slide down here, but there's a bastion over there. So I can't interact with the bastion. This happens a bit, but I mean, if there's a bastion over there, you're just going to run around like this. Just be careful for the arc. slide a little bit to save on some stamina. And all we're going to do is we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that doorway over there. You know, there's the Bastion and his goons. We're just going to jump through here. Okay. And then we're going to take the stairs. And then now the Bastion is behind us. And we're going to get down as fast as we can. There's a dead player over here. I'll take a few resources from him. Oh, whatever. So now we're just going to go down. And then we want to go down again. Okay, so the Bastion is still there, but now we just take these stairs. And now we loot. Okay, the Bastion is quite close to us, but it's not going to kill us. And now we loot all the Great Moraine and all the trees while looking out for the Ark. Okay, but they basically just protecting the Bastion. So all the Great Moraine, and then you're going to find trees, you know, with apricots, and you can walk around the tree and try and interact with the tree. And then you can see the Great Moraine is like shining, you know, it's like shimmering, telling you where it is. And now the Bastion is getting quite close. We don't want to aggro that guy. That's not going to be good for us. And you can see where we are now. So we just skip the Bastion. Now we're going to loot all the way down here. All the way. Okay, so here we come to an end. Quite a bit of the Great Moraine was taken. You know, like there's Great Moraine there as well. So somebody took some of the Great Moraine. And the reason you don't want to come here immediately is because this tree over here always has mushrooms on it. And people will kill you for the mushrooms. They won't kill you for the Great Moraine, but they'll kill you for the mushrooms. And I'm going to tell you exactly where this tree is. Look right there. Like, you know, like right on the edge of this Trans Hatch extraction. So if you had a Raider Hatch key, like if you had a looting MK1 and you put the Raider Hatch key in your safe pocket, then we could literally extract right now safely without any risk. And we would be getting, like, every stack is 30 seeds. So that's 30, 60, 90 plus 17. It's like 130 seeds, guys. Or money, you know? Like, we can sell it, or we can turn the Great Moraine into medical items, or we can turn it into seeds. We've got a lot of options. Now, when I don't have a Raider Hatch key, I usually want to extract here, or I want to extract here. Now, because here I can sneak. I've got a secret little place that I can sneak in where people don't see me. And this extraction has got like the hill behind it where I can clear the area before I extract. And I'm not crazy about this extraction, so I'm rather just going to take the extraction in the open. And this, like, you might think this is the worst extraction out of all the extractions, but it's actually not. All you want to do is you've got a level 1 kettle with 20 rounds. Are you going to be able to win a fight if you're one of the best PvPers out there? Yes. But your greatest weapon with the free kit, when you don't have a weapon in your hands, is your microphone. Okay? Your microphone is going to save your life more than any weapon will ever save your life. Okay? So we're just going to run to the extraction. If we see a player, we're going to talk to them. If we don't see a player, we're going to click the button and then piss off a Rocketeer, because we don't want a rat to kill us. And the one great thing about a rat is that he's scared of dying, you know, and he's scared of thinking. He's basically scared of himself. So the great thing about a rat is if you attract a Rocketeer to the extraction, he won't challenge you. Now somebody's already pressed the button, and now I'm forced to kill this guy. Okay, we've got a lot of attention on us at the moment. We've got a lot of attention on us at the moment. Oh, we've got a heck of a lot of attention on us at the moment. Wait for me, please. Wait for me, please. There we go, brother. There we go. GG, my brute. GG. Okay, now my sound is very soft because I don't want the game sound to overwhelm the microphone. I don't want you guys to be overwhelmed by a lot of loud sounds. But that's why I say your mic is your best weapon. Because most people have a heart. Most people struggle to shoot you when there's a personality behind your character. And as soon as you talk, you add a personality behind that character. There's many times that I've wanted to kill a person, but as I'm aiming at him, he talks to me. And as soon as he talks to me, even though I wanted to kill him, it's difficult for me to kill him. Now, we're getting 13 extra seeds there. Okay, so now we'll have 15 seeds before even recycling. Okay, but look at that, 8 of each resource. Now, the great thing is as soon as you've done the free one, then you get a free looting MK1. Okay, and again, they say I don't have space. Okay, so I'm just gonna sell this thing because I don't have space, and then I'm gonna take the item that I would have gotten in any case. And then I seriously have to sell something because I'm full. So I'm just going to sell this gun and take the stitcher. Okay, now I'm not full anymore. But I mean, I'm still going to have a problem. So I'm just going to get rid of the uneven numbers over here. Okay, I always look at uneven numbers like I don't need that. I don't need that. Like odd numbers. You know, that's only one. I don't know why it didn't stack. Like, yeah, now I just wasted my time because it didn't stack beforehand. So first stack, first merge your stacks, and then you get rid of the odd numbers. Okay, so that's an odd number. No, that's not really an odd number. That's an odd number. Don't need that. That's not really an odd number. Nothing is jumping out at me. That's an odd number. Oh, that's a waste of space. Okay, so we're just gonna sell that quickly. Okay, so we've just got 6 slots available, but I mean this can stack up to 100, so it's not gonna be a problem. So what I want to show you is even if you don't collect seeds, if I just do this, that's 25,000 bucks. That's 26,000 bucks with the free kit. Okay, but now if I recycle it, that's 30. That's 60. That's not 90. That's 92. That is 116. And that's 140. Okay, so 140 plus the 15 we had is 155 seeds. And we only have to get to 700 seeds. But the great thing now is that we never have to, we don't have to lose any seeds. Because the first seeds we collect, we're putting a stack of 13 here. Okay? And creating this augment, guys, is insanely easy. Like, if we have to craft it. Six plastic, 6 rubber. We just gained 8 plastic and 8 rubber after doing that run. Okay? The chicken gave us 8 plastic and 8 rubber parts. So the chicken made sure that we can afford another looting MK. The problem is the shield. You need 2. Now the chicken is giving us enough plastic, but the arc alloys. So if you want to make sure that you can craft the looting MK1 every single time, and you can craft the light shield every single time, at least just loot 1 arc unit. You know, like one of the wreckages on Spaceport. Anything that you have to breach, just loot it, get your 2 arc alloys, and keep going. Then at the end of the day, you're going to need these, which is electronic components. And electronic components aren't that bad because, again, it needs 8 needs 8 plastic parts or 4 rubber parts, which the chicken gives you in any case. Okay? And then it's going to need the magnets, which Celeste gives you. Like Celeste gives you 10 magnets, which is worth 3 backpacks. Plus, you can find the magnets on the outskirts of Spaceport. If you're not going for the fruit and you just loot the safe areas on the outskirts of Spaceport. And what I mean by the outskirts is literally, if you loot the Jiangsu warehouse and the water tower and the fuel processing plant and the fuel storage, you know, and the like the staff parking buildings and the buildings over here and the buildings over there and the buildings over there and the buildings over there, you're going to get a lot of magnets. You don't even have to go into the danger zone. Okay? And then as soon as you get that looting MK, like this one, I'm literally going to sell this one. Then you've got 2 safe pockets. So worst case scenario is you come out with 60 seeds. So whether you think you can make it out or whether you think you can't make it out, like I'm very comfortable with the free kit because I know I can survive 90% of the time and my history proves that. So if I go to Raider and Codex and I go to my player stats, my history tells me that, you know, there I died 3 times. Once, you know, twice, once. Okay, so I know that I'm going to make it more than I'm not going to make it. And I know I'm going to use my microphone, and the amount of bad people I run into won't overwhelm the amount of good people I run into, you know, because if you run into a good person, he doesn't want to lose his loot, and you don't want to lose your loot. You know, except if it's a PvP or a rat, then they'd like to kill you. But it's not to say they're going to kill you, because at some point you're going to be able to afford a Stitcher with an extended mag, and then you're not a walkover. You know, no one can just kill you. They have to battle you and win the battle. But even if you don't think you can PvP, just fill the 2 safe slots. That's 60 seeds every run, even if you die 10 times in a row. You're still going to get 60 seeds, which gives you your 700 seeds, because it's going to take you 10 runs to get 600 seeds. But in those 10 runs, the chicken's going to give you 10 seeds every time you come back. So after 10 runs of bringing back 60 seeds, you'll have more than 715 seeds, and you can buy everything from Celeste. And everything that I told you to get has a purpose. Like this is used to craft equalizers and Jupiters, which is your 2 legendary weapons, which is needed in the game, and it's worth money. This is used for a Snaphook, a Tempest, a Volcano, a Hulkcrack, and a Bobcat. This is used to craft many guns and upgrade many guns. Same here. This is used for your augments, which is very important. Your sensors are used for mines and radar hatch keys. Radar hatch keys is your golden ticket to not getting killed at extraction points, okay? This is used for Vitus shots, but it's not really necessary. So the batteries are used for energy clips, which is worth a lot of money, and you use those energy clips for, with your Jupiters, your equalizers. It's used for medium shields and jolt mines, which are very, very powerful tools. The duct tape is used for a lot of freaking grips. The magnets are used for a lot of combat MK shields. Like you need this for the shields. The oil is used for blaze grenades, explosive compound, and a renegade. And wolf packs. Like I need oil to craft wolf packs. If you're wondering what I mean, is if I buy 10 oil now, and I go to my refinery, then I can make explosive compound. Now, again, I'm out of chemicals, so I need 7 more chemicals to make 5 of these. But because of my seeds, I will never worry about that because I've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, 20, yeah? Like I can buy any resource I want from her. Chemicals, fabric, metal parts, plastic parts, and rubber parts infinitely. Like everything else has a limit. These I can buy infinitely. So now I can go back to the workshop and get that. So I need 3 more crude oil. So that is 80 chemicals. So,
Hello.
There's my 18 chemicals. Make the crude oil. And then I make the 5 explosive compound. And because of the explosive compound, I can make wolf packs. And because I collect arc alloys regularly, I can craft arc motion cores, which enables me to craft wolf packs. Okay? And if I go to my gun trader, to upgrade any of my weapons needs gun parts. I need heavy gun parts for epic weapons, and I need medium gun parts for medium weapons. And that's why Celeste is so bloody important. Because I can buy the gun parts from her. Okay? And then I can upgrade my weapons, which is very, 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 very important. Okay? So I'm going to upgrade this. But I need advanced. Okay, so I'm going to upgrade that one. And it increases the value. Look, Bettina 2 is worth 21k, but that's because of the attachments. Okay, so if I take the attachments off. Okay, let's just take 2 Bettinas here. 2 level 2. Do I have to? No, let's take level 2 Bettina and the level 3 Bettina. If I take this off. If I take the attachments off. A level 2 Bettina is only worth 11,000, but a level 3 Bettina is 14,000. So I gained 3,000 by just upgrading the gun. And then I can attach, attachments to the gun to make it even more valuable. Now the gun is worth 29,000. And I'm only using 1 slot for it. So I hope you guys understand how important seeds are. Okay? And I hope you know how to get to 715 seeds quite quickly. If you can, use this immediately. If you can't, start with the free kit. As soon as you make it out of 1 free kit run, use a looting MK1, and then later on start crafting Raider hatch keys to get out even faster. Now, I will bring a Raider hatch key, and I'll put it here until I've collected like 10 of each. Then I'll put the Raider hatch key here and put the fruit in here. Because if I don't get out with the Raider hatch key, at least I'm getting the 60 seeds. If I do get out with the Raider hatch key, I'm not coming out just with fruit. I'm filling up my backpack. I'm coming out with the seeds and with the loot. Okay? I'm not using a Raider hatch key unless I fill my backpack. And I'm only bringing one gun when I do that. So, for instance, I've got a level 2 Pharaoh here, but I'll literally just bring in a level 1 Stitcher with an extended mag. If I find a shotgun, I put it here, and then I fill my backpack, and so I go. And that's how I make the money. And that is the biggest tip I want to give you. Okay, that is tip number 1. I know it's the longest tip, but this is something that a lot of players sleep on. And if I did this since day one, like I would have already been at 10 million, guys, because I have deleted all my loot more than 10 times before I knew I needed 5 million, for 5 skill points. So I've deleted my loot more than 10 times. And in one stream, I earned $1 million and then spent $1 million and then lost all the loot that I bought with $1 million. So I literally pulled $1 million through my butt in one single stream. So I would have been, my total value would have been close to 10 million already. But I still enjoy the process. But I just like to show you how to make the process more smooth. And I'm not a hoarder, I'm a collector. As you can see, I've got level 4 of each of the 5 common weapons. Got a level 4 Pharaoh, Hairpin, Kettle, Rattler, and Stitcher. And then I've got 4 fully upgraded Toros, 4 fully upgraded Boletas, 4 fully upgraded Arpeggios, 4 fully upgraded Anvils, 4 fully upgraded Venators, Torrente, Renegade, Osprey. I've got 3 fully upgraded Volcanoes, 1 fully upgraded Tempest. I've got 4 Hull Crackers that I still need to upgrade. I've got 4 Bettinas that I still need to upgrade 2 of them. And then I've got 4 Equalizers and 4 Jupiters. Like, I don't like hoarding stuff. I just like collecting stuff. And the reason I focused on guns is because if you just take my weapons, because I upgraded them, and because I put expensive attachments on them, I'm saving a lot of inventory space, by these being worth a bit of money. My guns alone are worth $1 million. My weapons alone are worth $1 million. Okay? And my weapons are only taking up 60 slots. So if I fold my entire backpack with just weapons, 60 goes into that 4.5 times. So I can literally have 5 million in my stash alone if I just had guns. But I don't have guns. I've got augments and shields, guns, ammo, because every energy clip is worth 5,000. Attachments. I've got stuff I can use. I've got a bunch of snap hooks and these things that protect me and a bunch of wolf packs. I've got keys. I've got queen reactors. So I've got a just good mix of things. And I've got a few blueprints. But I hope this helps you. And this is the longest part of it because I think this is very, very, very important. Like, you've got no idea.
Hey there.
That if you collect 715 seeds at the start of every play session, your game will be so much easier. Upgrading weapons will be so much easier. Your life will be so much easier. Your quality of life, what you can and cannot do, will be so much easier if you just start your entire strategy around 715 seeds and getting all the items that you need from Celeste. And any extra seeds can always be used if you need one of these 5 basic items that you don't have enough of. So seeds have got infinite value. Now, since that took half the video, let's jump through all the rest of the tips. Okay? Okay, that was the introduction. Now let's get to the tips. Tip number 1. Loot with the looting MK. Loot with the looting augment. Now, this one only gives you 2 safe slots, so I'm rather going to use this one. Okay? Because why do I want to spend 2 advanced electrical components and 3 processors for 2 safe slots when I can literally just use 2 electrical components, which is very cheap, and 3 magnets for a looting augment? And then doesn't matter how many times I die, I will always bring 2 items with me. Okay? So loot with the looting augment because it gives you the most weight, the max loadout weight capacity, gives you the most amount of slots, and it gives you the most earning potential. Because if you're looting for money, like we all are now, the looting MK3 gives you 3 trinket slots, plus 2 safe pockets, okay? And then fight with the combat MK. If you want to fight, if you want to run into those dangerous red zones where you get the high tier loot and the valuable loot, go with the combat MK, because if you're running into this building, which every single content creator tells you to run into, if you want to run into the departure building immediately and loot this specific room that has red lockers and high value loot, you are going to fight most of the time. You are going to die most of the time. The thing is, when you're looting for high value trinkets, they don't weigh a lot. And if you're specific with how you're looting, you don't need a looting MK. A combat MK is enough, even if it just has 18 slots and only 55 max carry weight. It's allowing you to put a medium shield or a heavy shield on. And the difference between a player with a light shield and a medium shield is a lot. And the difference between a person with a light shield and a heavy shield is a lot. So if rats bother you by killing you with free kits, this is your way to gain an advantage over them. If you take in a combat MK2 with a heavy shield, even if the rat gets in the first shot, you can still kill him. And remember, a rat with a free loadout, not only doesn't he have a medium or a heavy shield, he doesn't have a weapon. He doesn't have a weapon with attachments on it. He doesn't have a stitcher with an extended mag and a bunch of attachments, or an upgraded, he doesn't have an upgraded stitcher. So now you're equalizing the battlefield with a heavy shield and a gun with more ammo, and because of this extended mag, and the free kit doesn't have the extended mag, you are winning that fight most of the time, unless he owns you. Okay, but a free kit can't decide what he brings into the fight. You can decide what you bring into the fight. So you can bring in a tactical smoke grenade. You can bring in a snap blast grenade. You can bring in a trigger grenade. You can bring in heavy bandages. You can bring in shields. There's a lot of things that you can bring in to gain an advantage in the fight. So, when you're going for those high tier trinkets, like the one I showed you in Spaceport, go with the combat MK and minimum medium shield. And if you've got the resources for a heavy shield. And then take the tactical augment. Take an augment like this if you're farming blueprints. And if you're farming like high tier loot. Because with a tactical healing MK2 augment, I can have like 4 different grenades, okay? And I can have 3 healing items, and I can have 3 safe slots. Again, I don't care about the max loadout weight or the slots that I have, because I'm only going to take purple items. I'm only going to loot purple items. I'm only going to go for high tier loot. And I'm going to have the 3 safe slots for maybe a Raider hatch, a Raider hatch key, plus a blueprint, plus like a snow globe. You check, and then I put the other purple items into the 16 slots that I have. But again, I've got an advantage over a rat with my gear, and I've got the 3 save slots for a Raider hatch key. And then, you know, like if I get 2 snow globes and a blueprint, or I get 3 blueprints, I don't care about losing the Raider hatch key. Then I just put the 3 blueprints into my 3 safe pockets, and that way I know I'm never losing anything that I'm not willing to lose. And that's if you die every single time you want to extract. Of course, you're not going to die every single time you extract. All you're doing is that you're guaranteeing that when you run in here, so the thing is, when you run into a building like this, when you run into this building, it's not to say you're going to die before you breach the room, because you're going to need to breach the room, which makes a noise, which means someone can shoot you in the back. It's not to say you're going to die every time you enter the room. You're going to die most of the time when you exit the room, or while you're looting the room. While you're looting it, someone's going to come in and try and kill you. Or when you exit, someone's going to try and kill you. So those 3 safe pockets guarantees that as long as you can get to the loot, you can safe pocket it. And if you get out alive and extract, bonus. If you don't get out alive, doesn't matter. You still have a blueprint or a snow globe. You still made something. Okay? And if you get like 2 snow globes and a blueprint, it's worth it. Because the augment only costs you 2 advanced electrical components and 3 processors. Now, the processors are easy if you get the 5 processors every day from Celeste, and you loot processors on Spaceport, which is very easy as well. The only difficult thing is these components. Okay? Now, the electrical components aren't difficult because you get that naturally. But the wires are a problem. And that's why Celeste is important again. Because by the time you need these, and you didn't get 10 wires from Celeste every single day, you're going to have a problem. And if you really want to focus on wires, and you like, Luther, I'll get 800 seeds instead of 715 seeds, this will give you 5 wires as well. Now, again, you can make a showstopper and a heavy shield with this, but if you just want to focus on wires, you can get 15 wires a day instead of just 10 wires a day. Okay, and then there's loot fruits for you to get wires as well. So that's tip number 1. Okay, tip number 2 is loot white zones for crafting materials. Like I told you on Spaceport, you know, like you're never going to run out of magnets if you loot the white zones. And this East Container Yard, no, the East Plains Warehouse. Here's a little power room here that can give you 5 sensors and 5 processors. Then there's another power room here that can give you 5 sensors and 5 processors. You know, then if you loot the building itself, you can get random loot. And if you loot every single white building on the outside, you'll get medium and light and heavy gun parts. But what you didn't know about Spaceport, except for the epic loot that they have at the top, they also have this at the bottom. And if you do this tunnel every single time you enter Spaceport, you will never run out of springs or wires. And you'll run into gun cases and epic loot and red lockers. A lot of people skip this underground layer, okay? But there's an entrance and there is an entrance. Okay, so if you spawn on this side, you can enter the tunnel through there, or there, or there, or there, or there, or there. So if you spawn on this side, you can run to the entrance. Spawn here, you can run to the entrance. Spawn here, you can run to the entrance. Spawn here, you can run into the entrance. And if you just do these tunnels, it's a very underrated tunnel system, you know, but I'm definitely a pro on Spaceport because, you know, I know about this loot room. I know where the red lockers are on this side of the rival building. I know that this little room here has 2 breach lockers. I know that every tower has a breach locker. I know that you can get gun cases at the top of the launch towers. and grenade cases and these parts that we just spoke about. These guys, advanced electrical components, if you run to the top of the launch tower and you just scan the top of the computers, you'll get those advanced electrical components. If you run into every tower on the wall and you just scan the computer panels, you'll get those units. Okay? And the only reason why you will run into danger here, because a lot of people want to go to Berry City and loot, the other building with the Great Boulain. A lot of people want to go loot the Galleria, with the Great Boulain in. But just look at what is right next to you. Space travel, research, and hospital. You have got a lot of red zones right next to you. Will you die a lot if you loot this place? No, but will you run into a lot of players? Yes. How many of those players will be rats? I'm not sure. But when you do spaceport, there is nothing dangerous close to you. People can't loot these towers unless they have key cards. So the only time you have to be careful is if there's a bastion here and when you are passing by the two towers. Because if a guy is doing a key card, he's going to want to kill you just to be safe. He's going to be protective of his loot. So this is the only area where you need to worry. As soon as you get through this tunnel that leads to the launch tower again, this area here is very safe after the first 5 minutes of the raid. The only time that this area is dangerous is when everyone's going for the mushrooms and they kill each other for the mushrooms, because they know that tree has 3 to 4 mushrooms on it every single time. But luckily, you get spawn points where you can get to the mushrooms first and put it into your safe pocket immediately. How do I know that? Because I use MetaForge, okay, to check the map. So with MetaForge, I can just hide all, and then I can show you the player spawns, and that's why I know. These are all the player spawns. Now, the mushrooms are there, okay? So when I spawn year, or year, I usually get to the mushrooms first. Like, when I spawn year, I'm going for the underground passage. When I spawn year, I'm in the underground passage. So I'm just going to loot the underground passage. But there are times when you're going to spawn year, and then you can get to the mushrooms first. And there are times when you're going to spawn year when you get to the mushrooms first. Now, I know there's a lot of spawn points. But if you go into Spaceport with a lot of looting MK1s, which is cheap, like at some point you're going to spawn there or there, and then you can get to the mushrooms first. So on day 1 of the wipe, I'm getting my mushrooms for the chicken the first day, because I'm going to be doing Spaceport a lot to collect the seeds. I'm going to be doing this underground tunnel for wires and springs. And then as soon as I spawn here, I'm going for the mushrooms immediately. If I spawn here, I'm doing the tunnel. If I spawn here, I'm doing the tunnel. If I spawn here, I'm doing the outside. And then on this road, there's a hiking backpack that spawns with great loot. And then even with this building right here is like a broken truck with a hiking backpack as well. Like if you guys want me to do is a map guide, like show you guys all the secrets of maps, I will. I'm definitely a Spaceport pro. I won't say I'm, I won't say I know the other maps like the back of my hand, but I definitely know Spaceport like the back of my hand. And then you can use MetaForge again, the event timers, to know exactly when events are happening so you can schedule your day. If you're a busy man with a job and a schedule and you don't want to wait for certain events, then you can use, again, MetaForge to see what's happening. Active now is Electronic Storm on Bluegate. The Harvesters on Dam. A Night Raid is on Stella Montes. Coming up is Electronic Storm on Dam and a Night Raid on Spaceport. Night Raid on Spaceport is really, really nice to make money. When do I want to do the harvester? When do I want to do the launch towers? When do I want to do the matriarch? When do I just want to play for the last bloom event? I love the uncovered caches. Like, you get epic items in the raider caches in this event. Night raids are really the best, to get epic loot. Yes, it's a little bit more risky because you don't have a raider hatch key. But as soon as you're used to doing free loadouts, for the fruit, that prepares you for the night raids. Okay? And again, if you do a night raid, you can still go in with 3 safe pockets. But this time, you can't bring in a raider hatch key because the raider hatch key is useless. But you can still come in with those looting augment, so that, yes, you are more likely to find a blueprint in a night raid, but you're more likely to die in a night raid as well. And the good thing is that if you've got this augment, you have 3 safe pockets. But worst case scenario, you've at least got 2 safe pockets. So if you find a blueprint, you're pocketing it. If you're finding a snow globe, you're pocketing it. A wolf pack, like any epic item that you need or that you're not willing to lose, you can put in there. If you don't find a blueprint, at least you're coming out with 2 epic items. And all you risked was 2 electrical components and 3 magnets. That's all you risked. Okay? So it's a win-win. Like, you don't even have to go in with a weapon, but still, like, this kit is 17,000. But it's because this attachment is 2,000, and, like, I can remove that. I can remove the grenades. The kit is worth 15,000. But if I just bring 1 snow globe back, that's 10,000. And then if I bring back 2 items, I'm paying for all of this. But if I'm like, I don't want to lose anything, then I just do this. So now if I find 1 snow globe, it pays for itself. And now I can even go worse. Now my kit is only worth 2,000. If I find one epic item, I make a profit. If I put 1 epic item in here, I make a profit. If I put 1 snow globe in here, I'm making 8,000. If I put 2 snow globes in here, I'm making 18,000 clean profit. There's many ways to play the game, guys. I'm just giving you some pointers. Okay, so you loot the white zones for your crafting materials. And then you loot the yellow zones for better quality loot. Because that's why there are yellow zones. Okay, if you're wondering, like, what the heck is a yellow zone? It tells you when you hover over a yellow zone. Loot value is medium. But if you go over a white zone, it doesn't say anything. Okay? If you go over a yellow zone, loot value is medium. So the quality of the loot that you're going to get there is better. And then if you go over a red zone, loot value is high. So, most of the loot that you're going to get there is of very high value. That's why it's a good place to farm advanced electrical components or magnets or the shit that you need to craft the epic shit. Okay? And then the third point there is loot red zones to make money and get blueprints. Because the loot is high in red zones, you are more likely to find epic loot and blueprints. It doesn't mean you're not going to find blueprints. Like at the shipping warehouse. It's just going to take you a lot longer to find a blueprint here than it's going to take you to find a blueprint in a yellow zone. And then it's going to take you a little bit longer to find a blueprint in the yellow zone than it's going to take you to find a blueprint in the red zone. And then to add to that, it's going to take you a bit longer to find loot in a red zone instead of just doing a night raid. Because a night raid, not only are you going into a red zone where the loot is increased, a red zone has increased loot value added to it. So it's the red zone on top of the night raid effect, which increases your chance of getting epic loot even more. Okay? And then a bonus tip that I want to give you that's probably not in my list is doing your key cards at night. I don't care what anyone tells you. I've got 500 hours in this game. Do not waste a key card on a normal raid. You're going to be disappointed. All the loot that you can get in a key card room during a normal raid, like if I go and do a key card now on Spaceport, all the loot I'm going to get in that room, I can get anywhere. I don't need a key card to get that loot. But if I do that key card in a night raid on Spaceport, then I'm going to get loot that's going to be a little bit more difficult for me to find. If you guys understand what I'm saying. Then my top 3 PvE maps is Spaceport, definitely the best map for PvE players. Then Dam Battlegrounds, and then Blue Gate. And then the top 3 PvP maps is Stella Montes right at the top, definitely the most PvP focused map out there. Then Buried City, and then Blue Gate. Okay, and then on Spaceport, you get a lot of resources for the Raider hatch keys and the security lockers. There's a lot of security, like there's a lot of security breaches on Spaceport, and I can show you with this site. You know, so if we hide all and we go to security breaches, sorry, I don't use this a lot. There, okay, the breachable containers. Like this isn't always updated because I know there's 2 security breaches there instead of 1. You know, but there's security breach in there, there's security breach there. There's a lot of security breaches on Spaceport. Okay, and then there. Oh no, that's just breachable containers, man. Sorry. That's just breachable. There, security breach. Okay. So there's quite a few security breaches. Like they say there's only 1 there, but there's actually 2 there. So every tower has got 1. That special room with the red lockers has got 1. That tower has got 1. That building's got 1. That tower's got 1. You know, that room has got 1. That tower's got 1. So there's quite a few, you know, like this route doesn't take long. You know, like if you're the best PvPer in the world, you can just kill everyone and take all the security breach loot. But then it's got the sensors, you know, and the processors that you need for the advanced electrical components. So that's what Spaceport is for. Then Dam Battlegrounds, the apartments are great for keys and just good loot. You know, the apartments are really, really good for various loot that you need to craft various things. And then it's the best to kill the queen. You know, like the safest way to kill the queen is to go to Dam Battlegrounds, take a snapu, go onto a roof that a rat can't get onto, and then kill the queen, you know, or get close to the queen and then shoot off the armor, you know, and farm the legs. And then Blue Gate has the best PvE farm map with Raider hatches. So what I mean by a PvE farm, in case you guys don't understand what gibberish I'm talking here. The reason I'm saying Blue Gate is the best PvE location is because if we go to the hatch extractions, you've got 4 hatch extractions. You know, okay, but that's Raider hatches. That's Raider hatches. Okay, so let's just remove the Raider hatches. These are the normal extraction points on Blue Gate. Now, what I do is, if this is the final extraction point, then I will loot over here and wait here until there's 5 minutes left here, because then I know everyone has to go there. I don't have to go there because I have a Raider hatch key. Okay, so I can stay here, and then I can, when everyone's running when everyone is running over here to extract, and I've got the Raider hatch key over here, then there's no more players over here. Okay, there might be one more guy with the Raider hatch key, but he's got a plan like me, and we don't really want to fight each other. So while everyone's running there, I can kill a Leaper for the resources. I can kill a Bombardier for the resources. And then I can get on to this thing over here, look at a Rocketeer and shoot the Rocketeer from a distance to kill the Rocketeer. That's why I say Blue Gate is the best PvE farm. What I mean by farm is if the last extraction is here, then in the last 5 minutes, you can farm everything here. If the last extraction is here, then you can farm everything here in the last 5 minutes without players stealing your loot or trying to kill you. That's why it's the best farm. Okay? If you are liking the information, do me a favor and click that like button. I know this is a long video, but this is the ultimate guide. So, there's nothing ultimate about a 10-minute video. So just click the like button if you enjoy it. Okay, we're only at tip number 6 now. Tip number 6 is craft everything in the raid. So if you go to your skills, okay, then when the wipe comes, I am not just aiming for the security breach. I'm aiming for everything that's important to me. One of the most important things to me, because in my 500 hours, I haven't found the looting MK3 Survivor backpack once. And that's the only backpack that lets me stay alive. And I don't know about you guys, but I have died a lot to Ark, and then I lose everything on me because I can't stay alive. I have died 50 meters from an extraction like 100 times. I have died 50 meters from a Raider hatch 50 times because nothing is keeping me alive. But if you go to this skill on the condition tree, back on your feet, then when you're critically hurt, which means you're crawling, your health regenerates until a certain limit, which is exactly what the looting MK3 Survivor backpack does. But if you go to this skill after the wipe, you don't need to ever find that blueprint, and you don't need to craft that augment for that benefit. But if you do find the blueprint, it still has a benefit because the looting MK3 Survivor backpack is the only looting backpack where you can wear a medium shield and have the most amount of weight and the most amount of space for loot. Okay, so it's the ultimate looting backpack. But if you just want that backpack so you don't die to Ark and only a player can end your life, like an Ark can down you, but an Ark ignores you as soon as you're downed. So the only person that can actually let you lose your loot is a player, or if the timer runs out. But if you manage your time right, I'm telling you guys now, I've lost over 5 million worth of loot by dying because I can't get to an extraction. I have farmed the queen for 6 cores, but then I've only got 2 queen cores in my 2 safe pockets. But then the queen steps on me 3 times and I'm downed. But the Raider hatch is literally 50 meters away from me. And players aren't shooting me. Players aren't trying to kill me. I'm crawling to players, asking them for defibrillators. They don't have defibrillators. So a player didn't kill me. I literally bled out. So if I count all the times that I bled out with a ton of loot on me, that's more than $5 million worth of loot. So I'm going for this skill right from the start. And I'm getting a lot of benefits with this skill. Like, while down, you take less damage. When you're down, it takes longer before you collapse. When you're critically hurt, your stamina regenerates faster. When you're hurt in combat, regain a fixed amount of stamina. I don't care about this skill. But I gain a lot of others. You make less noise when breaching. Breaching doors takes less time. If your shield breaks, your first dodge roll within a few seconds does not cost stamina. That's not very important, but that's literally just 1 point. So what does it matter? And then breaching an object generates resources. Your equipped weapon has less impact on your encumbrance. You know, wearing a shield doesn't slow you down. Like, this has a lot of utility, so I'm going for that. I'm not going for this. This is useless, and these two are useless for me. But, like, that's the only end skill I'm going for. Instead of going for that one and security breach, I'm rather going to look at, like, moving around costs less stamina. Increases your max stamina. You know, dodge roll costs less stamina. You can sprint and dodge roll further. You know, I'm not really focusing on these guys because they're forcing me to put a lot of points. I think you need to put 36 points or 35 points into a tree to access the last, you know, the final one. Requires 36 points in conditioning. Where to access these, for only 15 points to access these. So I can put 20 points in, you know, I can put 36 points in here, but now, then I can put 20 points in here and 20 points in here. Or with my extra skill numbers that I'm going to get, you know, my extra skill points, I'm going to put 25 points in here and 25 points in here. And those 25 points are way more useful for me. I mean, that's 5, you know, that's 10, 11. 16, I want the slip and slide. That's not really important to me, you know, but I'll put a, you know, and then, like, look at how useful 25 points is here without going for the security breach. Like, your movement speed while crouching is increased. When searching container, loot is revealed faster. That's probably the most important one to me. You know, like, the amount of containers you search and you're stuck in an animation where a rat can kill you. That's very, very important. You make less noise when looting. That's important. Stamina regenerates while crouched is important. Unlocks the ability to field craft items. Being able to go into a raid, guys. Like, you don't even have to take a Raider hatch key with you. Just because of that survivor skill. If I run into a tower and I find an advanced electrical component and I run to the electrical rooms that I told you about and get 3 sensors, I could craft the Raider hatch key in the raid. So what I can literally do is take the looting MK2 with the basic weapon and then run to a tower. If I die, like, I can literally take, you know, like, yeah, that's only worth $2,000. I can literally run to a tower. If there's someone there, I run away. Or if I loot it, then I get the advanced mechanical the advanced electrical component that I put in here. Then I run to one of those electrical orange boxes, breach it open, get the 3 sensors. Then I craft the key and I've got the key. Now I can extract with the key. Now I can loot and extract with the key. So I don't have to use a key when I go into the raid. I can craft the key inside the raid. Okay? So those are extra options. Now, if you ever struggle, if you like struggling with ammo and, you know, like defibrillators, like, you don't want to craft stuff, you don't want to buy stuff. The 10 runs that you did, okay, I'm going to show you this. The 10 free runs that you did, because remember, with collecting 715 seeds, you're going to need to do like 10 to 15 free loadout runs. But I want you to realize what you're getting. Even if you die 5 times out of the 15 runs and you only extract 10 times, I want you to know what you're getting. So here we are in a night raid for free. Let's see where we are. Okay, we can already go for the fruit, but that doesn't matter. You are getting 70 rounds for free.
Loot is ripe for the picking while most of Toledo is asleep. Though my suppliers say that Ark is twice as vigilant after sunset.
Now, I know nobody wants a Rattler for free. You know, people I hate the Rattler, but still you're getting ammo for free. You're getting bandages for free. You're getting a snap blast grenade for free. You're getting a door blocker for free. You're getting a shield charger for free. You're getting a light shield for free that you don't have to pay for the light shield. And you're going to hand in that free loadout to the clinic to give you a looting MK1. You can literally do this.
Head home at the south elevator.
Now, I'm not going to do it, but guys, you can literally extract immediately. I mean, like, I'm late to the raid. But in the first 30 seconds of the raid, people aren't really going to kill you at extraction. But you can literally extract with this and get all this loot for free. But let me show you the tower. Because with that survival skill, I can craft a Raider hatch key. I don't even have to bring in energy shield recharges. With 1 power cell and 5 rubber parts, I can craft it in-game. Those are important. You know, those are important for me. And again, I've got a free kit, so I don't care if I die. You know, I can run into every tower. I don't care if a person kills me. He's going to leave some kind of loot here. It's very little that they loot everything. There's more ammo. There's something. There's something. There's something. It's very little that they're going to loot the entire place. Okay? And if I'm here first, you see this. You see these computer panels. That's where you get the advanced electrical components. Okay? And now you can look for a way to get underground. So I'm over here. I'm going to have to go there to get underground. Again, I've got a free kit. I don't give a shit what happens, but I'm going to show you guys. Okay, so even without energy shield recharges, I can just put these in there, and then I can recharge my shield like that. And if I get 5 rubber parts, I can make a shield recharger. You see, look at all this free loot. Now I need like bandages at the moment, but as soon as I get 5 rubber parts, which I can probably loot inside this building, but I'm not gonna loot inside this building. Okay, I'm still getting everything for free, so I have to get a way to get underground quickly. Don't have a lot of health, you know. This gun is one of the worst guns ever. But it can still fight a guy like this. Just take cover. And as soon as he stands still, I shoot him again. See? Okay, we're nearly dead now, but I mean it's a free kit. We're not risking anything. We're not losing anything, and hopefully we can get underground here. Hopefully. Yep. Now we can get underground. Okay, put the light on. You're injured. Any player is gonna kill you with his eyes closed. Okay, and now you're gonna. Yeah, you can breach this if you want to. You know, getting more loot. But now look at this. This is a night raid. And just go, don't be at the bottom, be at the top. Just run at the top. Yeah, you see you can breach those for wires and stuff. Someone has been through here already. So they've gotten the good loot. I'm just showing you what you can get in this passage because we are now in the bottom passage. You can get gun crates here, electrical components, everything. Yeah. Electrical components. Look here. There's a medical bag that you could have gotten medical gear with to help yourself out of the situation that you're in. Okay. And there's gun crates here. Look at that. Electronic. You can get wires here. Look at these red lockers. And you can get a gun crate over here. More. Look at that. Look at the resources. 5 metal parts. No rubber parts. But we're trying to get to the extraction in time. More red lockers. A medical thingamajiggy. Now we don't need that. We need that. And now we need to get to the extraction fast. So I need to... Did I take the... No, I didn't take the adrenaline. That was a mistake. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get to the extraction now. But we can still go for it. We can still try and make it. No, we're not going to make it. I don't think so. No, we're not going to make it. Okay, but we could have made it. We could have made it. You know, we could have made it. If we just exited a little bit earlier. You see, now the extraction is closed. But what I'm saying is, you can literally do that path and then extract. Because when you do that part, you come out here. When you do that entire route, you come out here. And there's no one killing us. There's no players here. It's a night raid. There's no players here. But this is the end. This is the end of your path. Okay, this is where you exit your path. And then you climb up there and then you extract. And remember, you can craft the energy shields, you can craft the Raider hatch key, and there's a Raider hatch in this tunnel. There's literally a Raider hatch in this tunnel. And no, it's not like we didn't gain anything. We gained stuff. We can't even take the stuff because we're full again. Holy poop in the doop scoop. But what I'm saying is, if you keep doing free loadouts, you're going to get this free ammo. I did not buy this ammo, guys. I did not buy this ammo. I got this ammo with free kits. You know, I'm going to sell these freaking cheap stuffs here because it's just wasting space. But, you know, like that. And I didn't buy that. I got that with a free kit. You know, got a lot of the bandages with free kits. You check what I'm saying? So we're still gaining resources. Can we get the chicken stuff down? Yeah, now we can get the chicken stuff. And, like, we've got 20 seeds, so there's another heavy gun part, you know? I think I need another medium gun part to upgrade one of my guns. Like, weapon upgrades, yeah. I've got the 2 medium gun parts. Now I just need to focus on this. I need 1 spring. Now, that route that I did underground at Spaceport would have given me a lot of springs if nobody looted it already. Okay? But, I mean, again, I can literally buy a spring from Celeste for 6 seeds. I don't have 6 seeds now, but if I do another free run, I'll be able to get 6 seeds and upgrade my gun. Okay? So, the 7th tip, guys, is don't sacrifice all your skill points for the security breach, because you can get everything that the security breach gives you across the map, especially in night raids. Are you going to get a Bobcat once in a blue moon in a security breach or a Tempest? Yes, but if you do night raids, you're going to get that everywhere, in red lockers, in red zones. Like, the thing with breach lockers is everyone goes for the breach lockers. Everyone takes the breach locker skill. For you to thrive in this game, for you to survive 21 times like I survived, for you to extract successfully 21 times, you can't do what everyone else does. You have to understand what they do and be aware of what they do and do other things for the same results. Okay? And then tip number 8 is use an anvil and a hull cracker to farm trials successfully. A hull cracker you can buy once a day. A hull cracker only costs 30,000. You can only buy one a day, but it only costs 30,000. Now, if you take those 140 seeds that we got, we made 25,000 if we just sold the apricots and the lemons. We would have made 25,000 with a free kit. So there's no reason for you to not buy a hull cracker and an anvil once a day. And then you do the trials with a hull cracker and an anvil. Like, this ammo is quite expensive, so you're going to need to do one of those apricot, Great Moulin lemon runs to, like, you know, for like 25k, and then you've got what, 12, 20, you've got like 30 hull cracker rounds with the hull cracker, and then you're going to need to do another run for an anvil. But you can buy 3 anvils a day. And with an anvil and a hull cracker, you can farm the trials in night raids quite successfully. And if a rat kills you, a rat kills you. But I mean, you've got 7 days for the trials, you know, and you can use 3, you can buy 3 anvils, and you can buy 1 hull cracker, you can buy a bunch of ammo. So that's a good combo, because with an anvil, with a fully upgraded anvil, you can kill any rat. If you've got again, you're going to do the trial with the combat looting MK and with the medium shield or heavy shield. So you're going to have a major advantage over a rat with a level 1 Stitcher or a level 1 Kettle, because you've got a level 4 anvil, you know, and you've got grenades, and you've got showstoppers. You can shock him, you can blow him up. You've got smoke grenades. You've got tactical things to have an advantage over him. And you better use all those tactical advantages, because if you just want to run up to him when he's got a Stitcher and he's better at PvP than you, you're probably going to lose the hull cracker and the anvil. But if you keep him at a distance, because your anvil does way more damage at a distance than his Stitcher does, and you don't focus on rushing him, you just shoot the shit out of him from a distance, and you throw him to death with all your grenades, you're probably going to win the fight. And then when you think he's got like 10 health left, then you can rush him with the anvil, you know, and one-tap him. But again, you do the trials with an anvil and a hull cracker. Tip number 9 is, when doing the puzzle in the Queen Den to get the Jupiter and the Equalizer blueprints, place the blueprints in your safe pocket immediately. Again, with the looting MK2, you've got 2 safe pockets. And the only reason you're doing the harvester to get the Equalizer, the Jupiter blueprints. Put in your safe pocket immediately. And then if you don't want any rat to come and kill you while you're busy with the harvester, trap the harvester. Okay? So what I mean by trap is, when you do the harvester event, bring smoke grenades with you. Bring jolt mines with you. So the harvester has only got 3 entrances. Trap every entrance with a jolt mine, so that when a person comes in, you can hear him getting shocked, and then you can kill him. Or bring 3 pulse mines to knock him off his feet, and then you have time to kill him. Or block 2 of the entrances with the barricade kit so that he can only come into the one entrance. Okay? Like, just use use a mine, use a trigger grenade. Just use something to make sure that nobody bothers you while you're doing it. And to get to your raider hatch fast, take a zipline with you. Like, instead of running past the queen, just go out of the harvester, place the zipline so you can get to your raider hatch as fast as possible. There's a lot of tactics to use around that. Tip number 10, do not get angry with rats. Stay calm when you fight. Have no fear. Always aim... always aim for a medium or heavy shield to have an advantage over them. And aim for headshots and never stand still. Now, why am I telling you to never stand still? Because, let's say I'm a rat. Now, let's just take this. Okay? And then we take, I don't know, we take 200 rounds. We do a practice round quickly. Okay. Now, this is why you never stand still. Now, a rat with a normal stitcher is only going to have 20 rounds. Okay? But, if you stand still in front of a rat with a light shield, okay, you're dead. So he breaks your shield like this. There your shield's gone. And there you're dead. Where if you're not standing still, you're moving around, then he's probably just going to get a few body shots. Okay? So he's going to need to hit every shot to kill you. Where if you're standing still in front of him, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, like roughly 13 shots. Roughly 13 shots. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's going to take longer. Now with the medium shield, he only kills you with the last few shots. With the heavy shield, he has to land every single shot to kill you. That's why you don't stand still. When you're fighting a rat, you slide. Okay? You roll. And you aim for the head. But make your head very difficult to shoot. Okay? Don't give him your head, because your head, if a guy shoots you in the head, it does 2.5 damage instead of 1 damage. So where Stitcher only does like 8 damage per shot, now it's going to do 20 damage per shot. Okay? So always try and move. Okay, always try and move around. So, understand that you've got an advantage over rats, but you have to use that advantage. Like when you've got an anvil, stay far away from them. Don't stand still. Use your grenades. Slide. Roll. And when I say roll, I don't mean roll like this. I don't mean this. I have seen so many people fight me like I'm standing right there. I'm standing there, and then they do this. And then as they're doing this, I just follow them, and as soon as they stand up, I hit them in the head and they're dead. Do this. Okay? That, like, if a guy's standing in front of me and I do this, I'm basically still in the same room or in the same environment that he's in. But if a guy's standing in front of me and I do this, you know, okay, I couldn't do all 3 rolls. So let's just get our stamina back here quickly. So let me just crouch down. Because I've got that skill that when I crouch down, I regain my stamina faster. So when a guy's standing in front of me like this, I can pop a smoke grenade. And I can, you know, I can pop a smoke grenade right now and do this. And then I'm in cover. And then I flanked him. I have flanked him with 2 rolls. I am, you know, I did a 45-degree move around him with 2 rolls. If I do this, and like that's not a flank. That is not a flank. Okay? Now, because the rat doesn't bring in this equipment, you can bring in this equipment. Okay, so the rat's in front of you. You throw a smoke grenade. That's not a smoke grenade, but you throw a smoke grenade. Now, when he can't see anything, now you throw it where he was. And then you kill him. Because he doesn't have 3 smoke grenades. He doesn't have 3 tree grenades. He doesn't have, even if he uses that, okay? That's all you need to get an advantage. Another tip that I like to give you, when you extract, I don't care what extraction you use, don't just run for the button and start pressing it. As soon as the door opens of the extraction on the top, or the extraction in the trains like in Berry City, or like the extractions that you have to fall into in Blue Gate, don't just go for the button. Okay? Let the doors open, stand here and listen. Because if a rat is camping you, he's going to wait for you to run here, and as soon as he thinks you're pressing the buttons, he's going to come and shoot you in the back. But he doesn't know if you're pressing the buttons because you don't make a noise when you press the buttons. So what you do is you act like you're going for the buttons, but then you take cover, and when he comes, you shoot the shit out of him. And only when you don't hear anything moving anymore for 5 seconds or 10 seconds, then you press the button. Okay? Think, outsmart, improve, dominate. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have all dealt with rats. So tip number 12 is, I am guilty of getting shot in the back more than 100 times. People have walked up to me and used the don't shoot voice line and then shot me in the face immediately. They are telling you to not shoot so that you can stand still or lower your guard so that they can get that first headshot with a free loadout Pharaoh or with whatever they have. They just want that first headshot to break your shield and to have a major advantage over you, because rats don't fight fair. Rats don't have balls. Rats don't have morale, or like rats are like snake shit at the bottom of the ocean. Okay? But you must be aware of this. Don't let it break you. Don't, like, I have been killed by rats so many times, and then the next game I just kill everyone. Like, I stop talking to people, and I'm letting that rat change the way I play. Don't let the rat change the way you play. Adapt. Learn. Like, if you get shot in the face 5 times after a guy says don't shoot, as soon as you hear don't shoot, get into cover. As soon as you hear don't shoot, aim your gun. Because he's going to say don't shoot, and then he's going to raise his gun, and then he's going to shoot you in the head. So if you hear don't shoot, aim your gun and let him know as soon as you see his gun moving, he's dead. Okay, when you go into an extraction and that person doesn't have a microphone, let that person type the code and tell that person to trust you. Okay? And if the person doesn't type in the code within 3 seconds, kill the person and then don't loot him and just extract. Okay? Because the only person you can trust is yourself. So if you don't want to be a rat and there's one more person with you in an extraction point and this person isn't using his microphone and the person is trying to get an angle on you and the person has got their weapon equipped and you seeing all the signs that has happened in the past when you got killed, then you take charge of the situation and you don't even have to aim your gun. You just look at him, put the dart on his face, and start hip firing him to death. Slide and roll inside of that extraction point until he's dead, and then click the button. Whether he's a good guy or a bad guy doesn't matter. Or both of you get out safe. But if you leave the result in his hands, then you take the risk of just him getting out safe and you losing all your loot. Okay, so take charge of the situation. So my 12th tip is don't do what everyone does. Be unique, be different, be the hero, be you. Okay? And then tip number 13 is Raider Hatchkeys is your number one rat poison tactic. Because it's so easy to craft, rats don't camp Raider hatches. Rats camp normal hatches. Rats with ospreys and scopes sit in towers and shoot the shit out of you while you're trying to extract. It has happened to you guys. I know it's happened to you guys. So a Raider Hatchkey is your answer to not dealing with rats. Okay? And like I say, it's very cheap to craft and you can even craft it in-game. Number 14 is don't roll when you reload. When you're fighting with a Stitcher or a kettle or an anvil, like with an anvil, make sure you're always reloaded, because the biggest way for me dying with an anvil is I shoot 5 shots at arc or at drones and then I don't reload. So I just shot 5 rounds out of my anvil at drones, and then I run into a player and then I only shoot once and then I have to reload and then I die. So with an anvil, always make sure you're fully loaded for when you're going to run into a player. And when you're fighting a player with a Stitcher or a kettle, don't roll. Don't shoot don't shoot a ton of ammo and then roll. Because if you try and reload, there's many times that I've shot, try to reload, and while I'm reloading, I roll because he's shooting at me, and then I cancel the reload. So just understand that a roll cancels the reload. A slide does not cancel the reload. Now, the only place that I will roll is with a Toro or a Volcano. Because with a Toro, you shoot, and as soon as you shoot him, he's going to try and shoot you. Okay? So you shoot, roll, shoot, roll, shoot, roll, and you don't do the turtle roll, you do the springbuck roll. You run roll. You don't walk roll, you run roll. So you shoot him in the face, roll, like you get the lazy roll that people do in front of you, and then you just kill them, and then you get the leap. I call it a leap instead of roll. It's when I run and roll, So I do the long roll, shoot him in the face. Long roll, shoot him in the face, and then he's dead. Okay, and I try and aim for the face, because I know the face is doing 2.5 damage. Okay, so it works with a shotgun, because you shoot, and when you're done rolling, you shoot again, and when you're done rolling, you shoot again. And then you can still slide, but I mean, the last thing you want to do is to cancel a reload on a kettle or a Stitcher. Or any weapon, that has a long reload time. Like with the Torrente. The last freaking thing you want to do with the Torrente is shoot 70 rounds, and then the guy has 5 health left, and then you start reloading, but when he starts shooting at you, you roll, you cancel reload, and then he kills you. Like, the best thing you can do with the Torrente is have a freaking burletta on you. A little pistol, just to finish the guy off, if the first 70 rounds that you shot at him didn't kill him. Then, tip number 15 is join night raids for epic loot. Okay? And then the best thing you can do with night raids or electromagnetic storms, because you want the 2 times experience for your trials, is to wait until there's like a minute to 30 seconds left. Now, if you're asking me why wait until there's a minute or 30 seconds left, is because when you do a raid, in the beginning, 11 people spawn into the raid on the outside. And then later, more people spawn in. And then later, more people spawn in. And then, like, with the first 11 people that spawn in, as soon as someone dies, someone replaces that person that dies. So at the end of the day, there can be like 30 people going into a raid. And you have to deal with 30 people or compete with 30 people for the loot or the arc that you're going for. Like a lot of the trials, you have to kill arc. But basically, if you join a night raid with 40 minutes left, you're going to be competing with roughly 30 people if people keep killing other people. If no one kills each other, you're at least going to compete with 22 other players. If everyone kills each other, you're going to be competing with like 30 players. But the reason I tell you to join a night raid or electromagnetic storm for trials, when a minute is left, is this ends. Okay, so if I join this night raid with a minute left, after a minute, no one else can click on it. No one else can join this event anymore. So then I'm competing with the least amount of players. You know, we are sharing, like it's only 11 people sharing the arc that are there for the trials. It's only 11 people that are like competing for the loot. You know, worst case scenario, you one of the 11, so there's only 10 other people that want to kill you instead of 29 other people that want to kill you. Okay, so that's a great tip over there. And then, like I said, the crouch skill really works for me. Now, the reason I want to talk to you about the skill is not because I think it's the best skill in the world, but a lot of people think this skill is useless. Stamina regeneration while crouch is increased. Now, you might say, like, I don't want to stand still and be crouched. No, you do. No, you do. Because when you run out of stamina. Like, if you're not using adrenaline, which use adrenaline. Like, use adrenaline before you enter a fight. Use adrenaline when you want to run across the map quickly. Use adrenaline when you want to get to the good loot first. Because the other guy that's trying to get there just as fast as you is not using adrenaline. You know, use adrenaline for fast looting and getting to all the loot first. Use adrenaline before you enter a fight. Because if that guy's out of stamina, he can't roll, he can't slide. You can roll, you can slide, you can get into cover. You can do those leap rolls way more than he can do the leap roll. So you're way more agile than him, and that can win you the fight. The reason that I like Revitalize Your Squad is every time I run out of stamina, I want to stand still and be crouched to regain my stamina, because Arc Raiders has the best sound design in the world. So if you don't stand still and crouch and regain your stamina that way, you will never know if a player is following you. Like, if you run until you've got no stamina left, and then you just jog until your stamina is full again, and then you run, and then you jog, and then you run, you're always making a noise, which means someone can be behind you and you will never know it. Or someone can be following you and you will never know it. Or someone can be hunting you down or trying to wait until they get the perfect headshot on you and you'll never know it. But if you crouch down and stand still every time you run out of stamina, you can scan everything around you and you can listen if there's someone coming from behind. Because if you run and you take cover and you crouch and you rest, if someone was following you and you went into cover, they don't know that you went into cover. They probably think you're playing like everyone else and you're just running. But now, because you went into cover or you went into a bush to rest, you will hear them coming and you'll have the drop on them instead of them having the drop on you. So the reason I like Revitalizing Scout is it gives me that breathing room to know what's happening around me and to stay quiet for a little while and to be aware of what can hit me. Where if I'm running all the time, very difficult to understand, what's coming. or very difficult to be aware of everything that's happening around me because I'm making a noise. I'm running, and the guy who's flanking me or the guy who's behind me is running as well. But when I'm standing still, then I can hear them coming from like 70 meters away. Even if they're jogging, you can hear a person jogging from like 50 meters away. And you can hear a person running from like 70 meters away. So you being quiet is a very, very powerful weapon. And this skill forces you to get used to that. Now, another great way to extract is to not press the button. And that's why I told you guys I love these two extractions. Like this extraction. I love this extraction. Because if you enter through the back, there's a truck, and you can go underneath the truck, between the wheels, and you can just wait for someone else to press the button. And then if a rat kills that guy, you can kill the rat. If you don't like rats, wait for someone else to press the button, wait for the rat to kill him, and just before the rat knocks him out, kill the rat. Be aggressive. But the best thing about this is if you've got trust issues with people, if you think, someone's going to shoot you in the back at the extraction, let him press the button, wait for the doors to open, wait for him to start typing in the code. Give it like 2 seconds because you don't want to start running when he starts putting in the code. Because if he hears you running at him when he starts putting in the code, he's probably going to stop. He's going to stop and try and kill you. But if you give him like 2 seconds and then run, because when you walk through this truck, you're on top of the extraction. So basically, when he starts typing in the code, you start crouch walking towards the doors. And as soon as the doors start moving, you run and you leap through the doors. And then even if he wants to kill you, he can't because you're extracting successfully. That's why I love this place, because I can do that. And that's why I love this place or this extraction, because there's a hill that I can use here to see everyone around me. And when I extract in a place like this, I don't hide. A lot of people press the button and they hide on the stairs, or they hide here, or they hide here, or they hide here. The reason that I don't like hiding is if I press the button and I hide here, then a rat can come down here, a rat can come from here, a rat can come from here, and then they can wait behind the extraction, and as soon as I enter the extraction, I'm dead. When I click an extraction that's in the open like this, I go stand on the roof of the extraction, walk in a circle like I'm doing the rumba or the tango. I'm walking in a circle that is difficult for a sniper to hit me in the head. And as I'm walking in a circle on the extraction, I'm scanning here, scanning here, scanning here, scanning here, scanning here. So that if a player comes, I can see him coming and I can prepare for him. But if a rat sees me do that, most of the rats don't even come to me. I've seen many players that are coming towards the extraction, but because they see me standing on the roof, they hide until I extract. Like they stop coming to me. But as soon as I hide, as soon as I press the button and I go and hide, I feel all the rats have all the time in the world, because when I'm hiding here, I can't see what's happening here. So now rats can set up. They can set up at the pipe, they can set up at the wall, they can set up behind the extraction. They might have been here and then they saw me running in here, so now they're running at the extraction, waiting right behind the doors. Like, I don't know what's happening. I don't have control of the environment. But when I press the button and I stand on the roof, I do have control over the environment. And if a rat wants to kill me, he's going to kill me face to face like a man. He's not going to shoot me in the back. Okay? So I hope that helps you guys. Remember that with trials, night events are ×2. Okay, so here you see the ×2 multiplier. So that's why people do trials in nighttime or in electromagnetic storms, because it's got a ×2 multiplier, so you're getting double the skill points. Just remember, if you're doing it with a friend, you're getting 4 times the skill points, because whatever you do, he gets, and whatever he does, you get. So let's say you guys have to kill Pops on Bluegate. I don't know, I'm just using an example. let's say you have to kill pops on Blue Gate. As a solo player, you have to run here or run there and go kill some pops. As a duo, yes, it's easier to get killed by players, but if you want to generate, points fast, then you can run into the checkpoint, kill all the pops in here. You can run into the Pilgrim's Peak and kill all the pops in there. And if both of you are using adrenaline, you could get here before anyone else gets here, and he could get here before anyone else gets here. So you kill the pops and you run for the extraction. He kills the pops and he runs for the extraction. So then instead of you having to get 4,000 points on pops, he only has to get 2,000 and you only have to get 2,000. So let's say you have to kill 10 pops in a night raid to get 3 stars. The benefit of playing with 2 people is he only has to kill 5 pops and you only have to kill 5 pops. If you play with 3 people, then all 3 only has to kill like 3 pops. But what you must understand is, although playing with the team generates a lot more points, it's a lot more dangerous as well, because solo players are a lot friendlier than duos. Solo is the safest you'll be, with friendly people. Duo is in the middle, and trio is just the death sentence. Like, the only reason that you see these big content creators being number 1 in the trials is because they are not good, they are not skilled, and what they do is they let their entire community join the night event with them and then protect them like babies. Okay, so they don't take the same risk as you. When you do a night raid and you try and generate the trial points, everyone can kill you. When these big content creators joins a night raid, they make sure that all their community members joins that night event the same time as what they joining it. So they are not all the players will be their community, but even if just 5 people from their stream joins that night raid, then those 5 people can protect them in a solo game. Or if they duos, or let's say they trios, okay? So as trios, they can get a lot done. Like the one guy could kill pops there, the other guy could kill pops there, the other guy could kill pops there. Or one guy could kill pops there, the other guy could kill pops there, and the other guy could kill pops there. And because a lot of their community joins them, now even if just 6 people got in with them, now you've got 2 clans protecting 1 clan. So now you've got 3 clans, you've got these 3 players farming the trial, and then you've got their fans or their viewers or their supporters following them and protecting them. So they play on easy mode, baby mode, weak mode, And then you're like, yeah, they number 1 with the trials. No, they're not number 1 with anything. They're exploiting the system, just like most of these big content creators exploit the system. And they just there for the clout. They're not there to teach you anything. They are just there to brag that they got something right when they know what they did has 0 skill. But you will still be impressed by it. So when you do trials, just go for the 3 stars, because you don't have people that will sell their souls for you, and you don't want to be part of that toxic environment. Where, like, if you see Burnt Peanut playing with his viewers, it's a bunch of cheaters. It's a bunch of toxic players. And that's what happens when you just after numbers and viewers, and you don't care about who joins your live chat or what your community consists out of. And that's why Summit suffers when he plays with Burnt Peanut, because his community are good, grown-up people that won't cheat and won't fuck up a playing experience. But when Burnt Peanut plays, he's surrounded by kids, and then most of his viewers are probably bots, okay? And those that aren't bots are children that cheat and are immature and toxic, And that's why they can create someone like the Bungulators and fuck up the game for everyone else, because he just cares about himself. And it's all about clout and being famous, and there's no regard for anyone else. All I'm saying is the reason I'm telling you this is don't try and compete with these people. Just go for the 3 stars, get the items, and enjoy yourself. Okay? And then remember spaceport. Okay, and test everything in the practice range. Everything you bring into the practice range will be given back to you. Like you can't lose anything in the practice range. So I'm gonna take 2 tree grenades, 5 red grenades, you know that, and I'm gonna take a smoke grenade. You know, like I can even take a wolf pack if I want to, but I'm just gonna show you. Like I'm gonna use all this, but I'm gonna get it back. Like remember, I used the 200 rounds and I got it back. But the practice range is great to test things on yourself before you test it on players. Like I've seen people in game saying, "Can I just do this to you because I want to know how much damage it does?" Don't fall for that. Tell the guy to get a life, go to the practice range and test it on himself. There's no reason to test it on a player when you can test it on yourself. Okay? And I'm going to show you why. Now, before I show you, let's just put a shield on because most rats are going to have light shields, you know, like just a normal looting MK1. So at least test it on yourself with the shield. Because if your purpose is to kill rats, you want to test the damage on rats, okay? And rats aren't going to have medium or heavy shields. Rats are going to have light shields. And since you just want to enjoy killing rats, your entire practice range is focused on figuring out how to kill a rat as fast as possible. If another person fights you head on with a Venator and a heavy shield or medium shield, that's a good fight. If a rat with a free kit is just trying to camp an extraction, you know, those are the people that you want to exterminate. So, how much damage do you do with a light impact grenade? That's how much damage you do. Okay? Took about, I don't know, 15% health. And it didn't even break my shield. Now, it did a lot of damage, but that's on top of me. What if you don't throw it on top of the guy? Then it does nothing. How close do you have to be to actually damage the person? You have to be very close. You have to be very accurate with these grenades, okay? To actually kill the person. So at least you are figuring out that these red grenades are good, but throwing them without any accuracy is useless. You know, like if you're not willing to read the description, you can see their radius 2.5 meters. Now, if you're not willing to read that description, then you're going to think that this grenade can do what this grenade can do. But this grenade cannot do what this grenade can do because this grenade has a 7.5 meter radius, where this grenade only has a 2.5 meter radius. So you need to be very accurate with that. You know, that's why cheaters and exploiters are telling you, like, that's the best grenade, just because they're using an aimbot. Or they're extremely good at what they're doing. But now let's look at the snap blast grenade that takes some time to explode. So this you use to flush a person. Okay, so if a person standing behind a car, you have to know roughly where to throw this grenade to flush them. I know this is going to be close enough. Okay, so one of these breaks his shield and leaves him with about 50% health. So if this thing hits him and you see the shield break, that's time to charge him. You know, that's time to attack him. So that's a really good grenade to use. Because if he's behind cover and you throw it there, then you can immediately throw one here. You know, because if it lands here, he's probably going to go this way. So you can throw one here and you can throw one here. And then, you know, what the fuck is he going to do? He either has to go backwards. He has to be a genius to get out of the situation. But as soon as you see that shield break, you can rush him. Because you know he's got 50 health with no shield. Where you've got 100 health with a full shield. You've got a major advantage over him. And then, with the light shield, how difficult is it to kill a rat? Well, if you see a rat waiting for someone, or if you see a rat that wants to execute someone, you can shoot him if you want to, you know, but if you see a rat there trying to execute someone, that sticks to the rat. Like, you can literally let both of these stick to the rat, even if he runs away. It doesn't matter. But what can 2 trigger grenades do to a rat? That sticks, that's close to him or sticks to him. That's what 2 trigger grenades do to a rat. So the only time that you need more than 2 trigger grenades is with a medium or a heavy shield. And even if he has a medium shield, you're still going to do a poop ton of damage to him. Okay? Now, one thing that I used to like was these. But these aren't that good anymore. Like, I used to trap doors, you know, like when I do keycard rooms, but they aren't what they used to be anymore. Okay? Like, it's not bad. It's not bad, but it still takes a lot of time. You see that the way it jumps up into the air, it still gives the rat time to get out of the blast radius. But I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. So, like, if you want to do the harvester, two of those at all 3 entrances is enough to, like, not struggle so much to kill the person that's coming. Okay? But the most effective grenade that you can use is definitely the tree grenade. That is the meta grenade at the moment. Because one tree grenade that's stuck to a person leaves him very, 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 very vulnerable. Okay? Very, 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 very vulnerable. And it doesn't matter where you throw a tree grenade. As long as it's in range. It's still effective. Okay? As long as it's in range, it's still effective. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this ultimate guide, do me a favor and click that like button. If you've got any other information that you want to share with the community so that they can enjoy Ark Raiders in these December holidays, leave it down below. Let's start a discussion. Let's talk about Ark Raiders. Let's help each other fight those dipshit rats, you know, and let's work together to flush out the rats and keep all the brave PvPers that, you know, like, no one has a problem with PvP, but everyone has a problem with rats. because rats, camp extractions, rats tell you to not shoot and shoot you in the face. Rats tell you they're friendly and then shoot you in the back. Rats wait till you're stuck in animation or typing in the code and then shoot you in the back. Like, the reason that we call them rats is it's spineless behavior. When none of us has a problem with PvP. Like, if I run into you and we start shooting at each other, that's a fun time. But if you tell me don't shoot and you shoot me in the face, that's a coward. If you tell me you're friendly and you wait for me to type in the code in the extraction, you shoot me in the back, you're a coward. If you sit in a tower sniping everyone with an osprey, you're a coward, you know? So a rat is just another word for a coward. So let's get rid of the rats, keep the good, brave PvPers and the PvEers in this game, and make Arc Raiders great. Love you guys. See you guys in the next video. And my last 2 videos is going to be me killing the queen in 5 minutes, and then me killing the matriarch in 5 minutes. Hope you guys have fun. The cold snap is coming in 2 days. Basically 1 day at the moment. Yeah, because I'm recording this at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's the 15th of December now. But yeah, we've got a lot to look forward to. So let's have fun together. Let's be human. Let's use our microphones as our biggest power. And let's get rid of those fucking cowards, shall we? Cheers.